the University of Waterloo in Southern Ontario, CTV Sports presents the 1983 CIU Men's Basketball Championship. Thursday, Day 1. The youthful St. Mary's Huskies of Halifax take on the highly favored defending champions, Victoria Vikings. St. Mary's, led by their great forward, Rob Latter, the AAU Player of the Year, lead. And he has 23 points. In fact, Victoria don't take the lead until there are 8 minutes and 51 seconds left in the game. Here, Victoria's power forward, number 44, Kelly Dukeshire, sprains an ankle, and there is plenty of concern on the Victoria bench. But number 13, their great point guard, Eli Pasquale, takes charge and quarterbacks into 6 points in just a few moments, and Victoria rally to defeat St. Mary's 66-61 and advance to their 5th consecutive national final. Later on that night, the Waterloo Warriors and Brandon Bobcats hook up. The Warriors lead by 11 at halftime, but with 4 seconds left, Carson, the Brandon forward, goes to the foul line. If he makes the first shot of his 1-and-1 bonus, they will at least tie. However, he rims it. Steve Atkins of Waterloo fires it down the floor to Peter Savage, who finds an open space, and at the buzzer finds the hoop. And the Waterloo Warriors are in the national final for the first time since 1975. It'll be Waterloo Warriors, Victoria Vikings in the 1983 Canadian College Championships on CTV.
On Sunday afternoon, April 3rd, CTV Sports presents the Nabisco Dinah-Shore Invitational Golf Tournament.
That wild excitement you hear behind us is University spirit at its finest. It's from the Student Athletic Building, University of Waterloo, as they get behind their Warrior basketball team who take on Victoria in the National Championship. They'll be battling for the W.P. McGee Trophy, which is emblematic of the national championship of this country. There is no doubt that the man that sent Waterloo here, of course, is a kid named Peter Savage. Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Newlands, and isn't this a great place to be today? And Peter Savage, of course, you heard him talking earlier about the shot and watched him shoot it. Let's hear him describe just exactly how it went in.
In the game against Brandon, I looked up at the clock at halftime and I saw there was still 3 seconds to go. So I decided to take a few more dribbles and take it to baseline. Hopefully I get a better shot off. And it went in luckily. So.
What's the biggest challenge you have against Victoria today?
Well, as you know, they have 3 All-Canadians, which we're going to have to deal with. So mainly be a defensive struggle as I see it.
On the other side of the court, the quarterback is Eli Pasquale, the young Sudbury High School boy, an All-Canadian, who, of course, is the quarterback, generates this team. But he, too, like Savage, believes there is no question defense is going to be the key.
Definitely, I think defense will be a key to this game. For our team, that's what we prepare for mostly against any team, and this is a championship game, and defense is something that you can have control over while offense varies from game to game.
The color man this year is a former player of the year, coach of the year. He's coached, won and lost in the national final from the University of Alberta, Brian Heaney. Briany, that crowd is going to be like the sixth man.
Ken, that's right. We've got a game here that's shaping up as a history maker. University of Victoria trying to win their 4th straight national championship. We got the sixth man in the crowd. Waterloo, it's going to be absolute bedlam. Emotion is going to play a big part of this game, and the emotion's got to be behind the Warriors.
Thank you very much, Brian Heaney from Waterloo. This is the 1983 CIU Basketball Championship. Well, the two teams will be introduced, and I think there is undoubtedly a key as far as Victoria is concerned. Brian Heaney, Kelly Dukeshire will wear number 44, sprained his ankle, and how well he's going to be able to perform with that sprained ankle is going to be very influential on the outcome of today's game.
There's no question, Ken. Dukeshire hurt his foot very badly the other night. Last night at the All-Canadian banquet, he was on crutches, could hardly walk to the podium. But one thing about Kelly Dukeshire, he has the heart of a champion. He's the heartbeat of that team in the front court. They've got great players, but the toughest of the tough is Kelly Dukeshire. And I think he's going to go out there and give it all he's got. And it wouldn't be surprising to see that he forgot about the pain during the game.
I'll tell you what, when you're in a national final like this with a crowd like this behind you, everybody watching on television, there is something undoubtedly that brings it out of you. And talking about Waterloo, there's one thing they have patent this year, and that is winning games in the last few seconds like they did against Brandon on Thursday night. And that says something for their character.
Well, that's right. And that not only says something for their character, but that contributes to the building of character. And this team won at the buzzer the other night. Not only that, they won at the buzzer against York University for the Ontario Championship the week before. So they've got a great team, and this crowd is going to be so influential.
Victoria, field goals 52%, Waterloo 49, free throws 69% Victoria, 68% Waterloo. Rebounds are close, points are close. Do those statistics mean anything to you as a coach, Brian?
Kenny, what they mean to me is that we have two of the finest teams in the country right here. Anytime you're hovering around the 50% mark, you got a good shooting basketball team. You can't pick a winner based on the statistics. It's going to be an emotional game, and right there, the sixth man behind Waterloo could spell the difference, the crowd.
And they started lining up for tickets in the rain 6 hours ago. 6 hours ago, they started trying to get their way into this gymnasium. They've been sitting inside, I think, for 4 hours. There is no doubt it's just an incredible atmosphere, and this is what university sports is all about. And Brian, I think this is what they're striving for. There is the Viking. He has no name, just the Viking. He supports the University of Victoria. He will attempt to offset that crowd reaction, which will be partisan Waterloo. But Waterloo, they have their warrior, as you see there. And again, no name. He's just goes with that warrior team on the road and at home, and he lives with them virtually.
That's right. And these mascots, these team mascots, Kenny, are beloved individuals in home court areas. I'm sure the Viking will have a hard time today, but the Warrior will be well supported.
There's Waterloo's bench settling down right now, and it's time to play basketball because the University of Victoria with Tom Narberschuber and Gerald Kazanowski, number 24, Pasquale, number 13, and number 15 starting is Phil O. It's interesting, Dukeshire is not starting, Brian, and immediately there's a foul called on the key man for Waterloo, number 21, Peter Savage.
Well, that was an unpopular foul, of course, because it's against the hometown team, but in the semifinals on Thursday, the officials in this tournament have started the game calling it tight. They want control. There's going to be a lot of action, a lot of physical play out there.
Number 12 is Greg Kazanowski. You'll have two brothers. 12 is Greg and 24 is Gerald. And Pasquale just hit the first 2 points of the ball game, and it's 2-0. Looking at the lineup, Bill Jarrett and Steve Atkins will be the men that will be bringing it up the floor. Number 44 is Paul Van Oerschoot, who's an excellent basketball player. Number 54, Randy Norris, is at 7'1". They claim a great natural player for the University of Waterloo. Number 21, the hero coming into this game, is Peter Savage.
Very interesting when you get this far. It appears as though Waterloo's playing man-to-man, and the first thing you do in a championship game is you go out of man-to-man. Victoria's got a tremendous man-to-man offense. They've been together so long, it's going to be tough for Waterloo to maintain composure on defense.
And the foul is against number 4, Jared of Waterloo, and that's Waterloo's second team foul. The other day against St. Mary's, it was Victoria that got themselves in foul trouble early, and that can influence the entire process of the game.
That's right, very, very closely called game. We've had 4 whistles, Ken, and the game is not a minute old. The referees are totally involved here at the outset.
And there is no doubt that they intend to keep this game under control. Dick Steve and Ron Foxcroft are the officials in today's basketball game. There's Jarrett, number 4, working the ball down for Waterloo. Into Peter Savage. Savage tried to toss it underneath. The number 54, Randy Norris, intercepted down the floor to Narberschuber. And Jumper's shot is rejected by 54, Randy Norris, who is 7'1".
7-1, there's a little bit of intimidation. Tom Narberschuber's a fantastic shooter. Pasquale got the ball out well on the break, but the big man rattled Narberschuber just a little bit. We're seeing great pressure here, which is Victoria's trademark, full court pressure. The interesting thing is 6'10", Steve Atkins is handling the ball in the backcourt, number 55 for Waterloo. He is 6'10", and McCray has him back handling that basketball.
And there is no question they're going to try and force them into turnovers. Pasquale works the ball back out to Phil Oil, to Gerald Kazanowski, off the glass. And Victoria lead by 4.
That was a great first step by Gerald Kazanowski at 6'9". You can believe, Ken, when he takes a step, it's a big one. He got by that defender fairly easily. Scored the hoop, referee stopped action. Here again, full court pressure. Victoria has come to play. They're going to try to take the crowd out of this ball game.
Randy Norris, and that number 44 is Paul Van Oerschoot, who is just an outstanding young man to Jarrett. Jarrett, number 4, has sacrificed an awful lot this year. He's a forward, and he's gone back to play guard, much like Steve Atkins has. The ball is out the end line, and it'll be Waterloo taking over.
Well, Jarrett's a quarterback, and any great team needs a player that gives up of himself to look after the shooters. You just saw Van Oerschoot shoot there. Van Oerschoot and Savage had great games the other night, but Savage is the man that got him the basketball.
And there is no doubt, just on that play where Van Oerschoot tried to get it underneath, tried to take the shot himself. That shows you the toughness of Victoria physically.
Very strong teams here. The thing that impressed me, Ken, about these basketball teams is their upper body strength. For any young people out there watching this game, they've got to hit the weights. The game is developing in the country. You've got to have muscle, jumping ability, and these teams have both.
And you saw Randy Norris try and rim that basket 3 times and just wouldn't settle down and came out to Jarrett. And Jarrett was called for movement, and now Victoria take over with number 13, Eli Pasquale.
Kenny, listen to this crowd. They will not stop clapping until Waterloo scores their first basket. It's been a tradition on this campus for over a decade. The crowd is totally involved. They'll stand for 10 minutes if Waterloo does not score.
And just there you saw Phil O, who's playing for Kelly Dukeshire, was called on the foul, and that is Victoria's first foul of the ball game. And it's
6-0 Victoria. That press right now is really giving them trouble, giving Waterloo trouble.
Well, it'll give any team in the country trouble. If Waterloo doesn't adjust, they're in for a long game, but I think they'll settle down and they'll get in the rhythm of the game offensively in a couple of minutes here.
And again, Barrett tried, but it was a shot with tight on a trajectory, and the rebound is brought down the floor by Pasquale from 20 feet. It's off the rim. Rebound by Narvashuber. Tries it underneath. It's off the glass. And a great play by Gerald Kazanowski.
Great play by Kazanowski. Great play by Narvashuber. What an assist. He went up for the jump shot. The defense moved to him, and he found that open man inside.
Here comes Savage, 2-on-1. And again was checked from behind, and the rebound is taken by Moe, and the foul is called on Randy Norris, kid from Sarnia. And a timeout is called, and Waterloo need that. And so with the halftime, with the score, Victoria 8, Waterloo nothing. This is the 83 CIU Men's Basketball Championship.
Hear you. Shout it out. How we doing?
I think fairly good. Are you pleased? Coach of the year, and the fourth time he's been the coach of the year. What a spectacular job he's done in Victoria.
He's done a fantastic job. I wonder if he's nervous. He doesn't look too nervous. Maybe he's been here so often. He's used to this. This is fantastic environment, Kenny. It's college sports at its best.
Narvashuber from 20 feet, and Victoria won in front by 10. Waterloo have got to settle down, and there is the man, Peter Savage, that will settle him down.
That's right. You know, I always worry as a coach when you get off to a big lead because this game is a game of ebbs and flows, and momentum, no doubt, will change.
And Atkins, instead of shooting, tried to pass underneath, and with the result, another foul. And Waterloo has still failed to bring the fans down because they're applauding still because they want Waterloo to score here.
The fans have now been up for 7.5 minutes, Kenny. They will not sit down till Waterloo puts a bucket on that scoreboard.
There's Pasquale. It's in 12-0, and you know that Waterloo has 6 fouls. Victoria has 2.
Fouls are a key part of any game. You've got to stay out of foul trouble because in basketball, after the 17th foul, a foul translates to a good scoring opportunity on the foul line. So that's going to be an important statistic in both halves of this game.
Atkins tries one from 25. It's off the rim. The rebound by Savage. Off the rim again, and the rebound is deflected out by Waterloo, and again Victoria take over. The game is just underway. It's 12-0 Victoria.
Donnie McCray just jumped off the bench and gave the signal 3. Now you'll see Waterloo here in his own defense. They had to change defense. The score's 12-0. McCray is trying anything to change the momentum and the pulse and tempo of this game. So we now have Waterloo in his zone. Let's see how Victoria handles it.
There's Pasquale again. But this time it's off the rim, and Savage is able to gather in the rebound, and back comes Waterloo. They have got to penetrate that inside game. There is Van Orshaw trying to go. Shot rejected by Gerald Kazanowski. And the official right there calls the foul. And Waterloo will take the ball in the end line. It'll be Steve Atkins, number 55, a former member of the national team. Savage, number 21. The Jared of Waterloo. Waterloo in goal. There goes Van Orshaw underneath. The shot by Norris. Randy Norris puts Waterloo on the board in 12-2 with 14 minutes left to play in the first half.
The ice is now broken, Kenny. You're going to see this game pick up in its intensity right now.
There was Greg Kazanowski shooting from 20 feet. And right now, Victoria are shooting the light bulbs out of that hoop. There is no doubt that they have shown a lot of points. There's another check by Pasquale. He goes in, however, it does not count. The foul is called back in the area of Jarrett. Bill Jarrett, the co-captain of Waterloo. Bill Jarrett will leave the game, and Bob Resovic will come in. Bob Resovic will wear number 10. Bob is quite a story, you know, because as far as his basketball is concerned, he had a shin fracture and missed last year, but he is a great perimeter player.
Don McCray has a lot of confidence in him. The other night in the Brandon game, he brought him in down the stretch, so he has a lot of faith in his composure on the court in tight situations.
Watch Victoria try and penetrate that defense. They got Atkins inside and Norris, both of them near 7 feet.
One of the things that Victoria will have to do against this zone because of Waterloo's size is make a reasonable number of attempts from the outside. The other night against St. Mary's in the semifinal, the guards almost refused to shoot, and it caused a lot of turnovers in being committed to getting the ball inside. When St. Mary's in a 1-3-1 zone, close those areas out.
Going to the foul line right now is Greg Kazanowski, number 12.
That's the first bad thing that happened to Victoria since they walked in this building, Kenny.
That's right. You know, I talked to Ken Shields and Don McCray both prior to game time. And maybe that'll be a factor that'll help turn things around. There is Rozovic, number 10. I told you he's a perimeter guard. He's the man that can handle that ball. Already he's brought the crowd up. There's Atkins, 55. Back to Van Orsha. Van Orsha. As the crowd go back on their feet. A shot. Savage, his first 2 points of the game as Victoria leads by 10. As Eli Pasquale brings the ball on court, an alley-oop pass is kept away. A good defensive play by Randy Norris. And back comes Waterloo. Savage rimmed it. Rebound is taken by Victoria, and the foul is called on Randy Norris, who just lost control of himself and hit from behind.
Kenny is 7-footer, great young player with a lot of potential, but you can imagine moving that fast at 7 feet, it's tough to get yourself back in control. These kids are just giants out here on this court. There's a lot of big men out there.
No doubt, and Randy Norris is one of the players, his first year in college ball. And Don McCray said he is just going to be so great. However, he'd like to have that back. Going to the line right now is Bill Owen. Victoria missed their 3rd consecutive foul shot. And you don't see that very often. They're normally very strong for the foul line.
That's right. They are a good shooting team for the foul line, and that's also the mark of a champion. Again, for all the youngsters out in the audience, you've got to shoot good foul shots to become a complete player.
And the young man from Courtney dropped in his 2nd shot.
One shot. You know, I know for all the coaches around the country, Victoria winning 4 straight times. You see a kid like Ole, who's been on the bench for 2 years for them. This game could make him into a star. We'll have to watch his progress through the game. Number 15 for Vic. Ole.
Well, you've got several boys in that Victoria team playing their final game, and they're looking to Ole. Savage has the ball tipped away, and back comes Kazanowski. There's a Victoria player hurt. Kazanowski loses the ball.
Kenny Pasquale seriously hurt. He's down on the floor in the offensive and the defensive zone now. The referee stopped the clock.
Pasquale, number 13, Eli, you see him right there, is in evident pain. However, he may have only banged a shin. Let's hope it's not serious. Their brilliant young quarterback being checked over right now. You cannot say enough about Eli Pasquale. When his team was struggling the other night, he's the man that brought them back. Here's the play.
Kenny, I can't tell what happened to Pasquale. He grabbed his knee, then he grabbed his arm. I'm not quite sure what happened here. Let's take a look. He's down.
Hey, Kenny.
Reach for the ball.
Nobody really, nobody really seemed to touch him, but I'll tell you something, he's still in pain. And Ken Shields, who has already lost Kelly Dukeshire as a starter, although he can come in, he wants to play because it's Kelly's final University of Victoria game. He sprained his ankle the other night, so this could be just such an awesome loss. But then we also go back to Victoria's incredible bench because they have Quinn Groenhuis waiting to play. They have Ryan Burles waiting to play.
I think Pasquale looks like, I wonder if he got winded. I didn't see anything happen that might have winded him.
This is the 1983 CIU Men's Basketball Championship.
Touched, you blow the whistle on.
Okay.
Keep it going. You started it, and you got to do it all the time. You're committed to it.
TV timeout, man. TV time. Timeout. Okay. TV time.
We're going to stop. It's look over. Okay, if you can remember, look over to me to see if they're taking a TV.
Okay. TV timeout.
We get 30 seconds.
Pardon?
We get 30 seconds.
As long as the TV timeout's going.
No.
What do you think?
Shot clock. Should be a full 30 because he was stopped it because he was on the floor, right? Full 30?
10.
13 minutes left in the opening half. Victoria 16, Waterloo 4. Ken Newlands along with Brian Heaney from the Student Athletic Building Activity Building at the University of Waterloo, where about 4,000 are jammed in here in undoubtedly one of the most exciting places in all of North America to watch a basketball game. But right now they're concerned their team is down.
You know, our coaches and officials in the CIU have so much class. You see a picture of Don McCray. He started working the officials over right now, but in such a classy way. Spoke to Ron Foxcroft and said, you're committed to calling the game closely, therefore all the contact inside, blow the whistle. You started it, follow through with it. So it'll be interesting to see the flow of the game here, to see if McCray had any effect at all on the referees.
All right, Eli Pasquale is all right. He left the floor for his own power, and he's replaced by Quinn Groenheid. Quinn Groenheid from Sydney, British Columbia. And look at this. The shot rejected, the rebound taken by Van Oerschoot of Waterloo. Pass break to Savage, number 21. Savage tries it from 20. It's off the rim. The rebound is taken by Narberschuber and also Quinn Groenheid.
You see Victoria here coming down. They're going to work the ball against the zone. I still think the key is how patient they'll be getting the ball inside. The guards have to be a factor against the zone with a team this big.
Can you believe two All-Canadians, Eli Pasquale, and a second-team All-Canadian, Kelly Dukeshire from Victoria, are on the bench right now. That kind of depth is what they have.
Well, both clubs have depth. Waterloo played 9 people the other night and very effectively because Victoria is reputed for its depth.
Van Oerschoot kicks it in, and it's 16-6 as Victoria lead by 10. And we have 12 minutes left to play in the first half.
Well, I think a credit to both teams. Saw young Greg Kazanowski in a jump shot, but both are in transition. Nobody's backing off here. Nobody's cautious.
Paul Van Oerschoot, number 44. One of the key men, the hardest working guy on the floor, they tell me, for Waterloo. Bob Oresovic, number 10, coming back off for a broken shin. Works it to number 42, takes the shot. David Burns. He shot well early against Brandon Van Oerschoot. And it rolled off the rim. The rebound. Again taken by Burns. Then it's off the glass. And again, Waterloo draw within 10, 18, 8 with 11 minutes left in the first half.
Second shots are important. When you missed that first one, the defense did a great job. Waterloo got 2 second shots there and converted a bucket.
They need that rebound, and the foul is called on Quinn Groenheid.
Crowd loved that one, Kenny. They're getting back in this ball game. This is one thing Victoria doesn't want to see. I said you can't keep the momentum in this sport going your way the whole game. This crowd's coming back alive with calls like that.
And there is Kenny Shields. Although shows a lot of concern outwardly, I know has confidence that his team will always respond to the challenge. He feels they're well prepared, and as he told me before the game, I accept no excuses. Now you see Eli Pasquale, number 13, is back in for Victoria. Number 44, Paul Van Oerschoot, and the foul is called on Tom Narberschuber. Foul is called on Narberschuber.
0, blue team, block.
to the basketball game.
Good call by the official. Both feet were not planted. The defensive man did not have position. Excellent call.
Jurasovic to Steve Atkins. Look inside. The shot by Burns is off. And the tip is off. And the rebound is finally gathered in by young Dan Brasic. Number 21 for Victoria. And back down the floor comes the defending Canadian champions, looking for their 4th consecutive title. They are wearing blue. Underneath, Brasic tried it. It was off. And Steve Atkins the rebound. Number 55, Steve Atkins, who gathered in that rebound, according to Don McRae, when he went and became a perimeter player. That is when Waterloo started to turn it around.
Well, that's very interesting. How many coaches have the luxury of taking a lad 6'10" and making him a perimeter player? And that just goes to show you the kind of talent that's here at Waterloo. This game could be the beginning of a new dynasty.
Savage. Cross the zone to Van Oerschacht. A foul is called on Quinn Groenheid. Quite a story about Quinn Groenheid, too, because you'll notice that his left thigh is taped up. That's because he had an off-season operation to shorten a leg, believe it or not, so he could play better basketball. Quinn leaves the court, and Kazanowski comes up. Atkins has 6 rebounds. That rebound was taken in by Dan Brasic, number 21, and Waterloo bring it back. Watch Pasquale. What an exciting basketball player he is.
Did he ever motor, Kenny? He gets up and down that floor quick.
Will take it again, but they call. Steps against Victoria. Waterloo take over.
Kenny, last 5 whistles have gone Waterloo's way. They haven't been able to make too much progress. I think that's a bad sign. They should have been able to capitalize for another couple of buckets here. This is an important basket for Waterloo.
What you're really saying is they now trail by 10. They should have that lead cut by 6, and they haven't done anything about it. The shot by Burns has a good arc, and it's off. Now Savage to the backboard. That's what they need. Waterloo now trails Victoria by 8 with 9 minutes left to play in the first half.
I think we're going to see a tight ball game by the halftime here. Waterloo's loosening up a little. I think their outside shooters are still a little tight. If they get in rhythm, we're going to see a heck of a basketball game.
Classic errant pass went out of bounds. Now let's see what Waterloo can do now. They trail by 8. They have a chance to narrow the gap and really get back in the basketball game. That's Jurasovic, number 10, works the ball around the perimeter to Paul Van Oerschacht. Back out to their money man. His shot is off. And the rebound was taken on the play by Dan Brasic.
44, goal team, hit.
And the foul is called on number 44, Paul Van Oerschacht.
Kenny, you start to see some strategy develop here now on the foul situation. Kenny Shields on the last turnover pulled big Gerald Kazanowski off the bench, who has 2 fouls, and sent him to the score table. And that means for the last 8 minutes, his starting center is in jeopardy of picking up his 3rd foul in the first half. But Shields feels that's so important to reverse the momentum of this ball game.
Dan Brasic, the young man from Penticton High School, just hit the front end of his foul combination.
Now, with the foul situation, Don McRae just made the opposite decision. He pulled Van Oerschacht out of the ball game, having gotten a second, and Ken Shields just jumped up on that substitution and put Kazanowski back on the bench. So fouls are starting to play a role in the first half outcome.
Number 33, Paul Boyce from Sudbury, is now into the basketball game for Waterloo. As Jurasovic brings the ball down the court. The shot has been Savage from 20 feet out. 8:30 left to play in the first half. Up 20-12. Victoria out in front.
Victoria's got to get some rhythm back right here. They haven't had a good basket opportunity in the last 2.5 minutes.
And a great shot by Dan Brasic from the corner. And again, Victoria lead by 10. Just remind everybody, too, that Waterloo are used to playing from behind.
Well,
Steve Atkins, 55, former national team player. Great shot.
What a great touch for a big man, Kenny. He really does have a great touch. I think you got to see the level of intensity pick up on the defensive end here for Waterloo. They've got the crowd with them. Virtually nobody is sitting in this gym right now. Everybody's on their feet. Waterloo has to capitalize, but Pasquale starts to put the fire out.
I don't know how you take a jump shot away from Pasquale like that. He is just so brilliant from the outside. 24-14. Victoria lead. Atkins just laying it in. The big 6'9" kid from Oakville, Ontario. Has played in the national team. Played at Simon Fraser, University of Calgary, but has settled down and says, this is where I want to finish up my career. He has one more year left. The shot off the glass. A great rebound on the play by Phil Ohl. Back out to Pasquale. He rimmed it. Rebound was taken by Bird. To Atkins. To University of Vikings. Back to Waterloo. They're doing a good job on the boards on their end if they can just start connecting with their shots on the other end.
Very physical and a great effort by Brussick. He committed the foul, but he just refused to let the big man come across the key undefended. He jumped right in front of him.
This is the 1983 CIU Men's Basketball Championship.
21 on the blue team. Okay, we got bonus yet? Okay. Not here. Okay. Okay. Now. All right. We'll talk here, all right? Not that.
You could watch Live It Up Thursday night to get some money-saving ideas, but most people watch just for fun. Live It Up Thursday nights on CTV.
The University of Victoria and the University of Waterloo here at the Student Activities Building on the campus of this wonderful university, watching as Victoria have an 8-point lead, 24-16, with 7 minutes to go in the first half. And going to the foul line for Waterloo is number 42, David Burns, a young man from Brockville.
You know, Kenny, as we watch Burns shoot the foul shot, this is the 90th anniversary of basketball coming to Canada. And I think you see by the increased caliber play over the years how the sport's developed in this country. It's also basketball month across this nation.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So is Al Ray, the executive director.
One shot!
Players just get better and better every year. Coaching gets better. The certification program out of Ottawa has done wonders across
And you had a brand new system this year declaring a champion. We'll talk about that later on. Next year, they're even going to have the three-point situation. Waterloo. Atkins goes to the basket. A beautiful shot as he went right over top of
That was a big call,
Phil Ohl.
That was a big call. It could have gone either way. I think the defensive man was moving. We'll see. Oh, it's tough judgment. He might have been stopped a split second before. He maybe not, but the crowd's in the game. We have the ball game right now. Momentum is clearly Waterloo's right now.
And Don McRae realizes it. He also knows that Steve Atkins has got to be as physical as he was on that last play if they intend to maintain that momentum until the conclusion of the game.
That's right. It was interesting to notice, too, in the last timeout, Kenny Shields was up, plugging the ear of one of the officials, working the official over, trying to regain. Not any favors, but just awareness of what's happening on the court. Both coaches doing an excellent job in this game. They're very alert. They're very into the ball game.
6'10", Steve Atkins on the line. And that 10-point lead has now shriveled to only 4 points.
Now we'll see change of defense here from the last time out. Waterloo went from a 1-3-1 zone into a 2-3 zone. You can see the two guards up around the foul line area.
And again, the rebound.
That gives him a little better rebounding strength, and this will put him in their transition game.
That was Paul Boyce, number 33, who hauled in that all-important rebound. Jarrett, the co-captain, number 4, is back out there. Goes to the glass, miss. The rebound is taken by Victoria. And back comes Eli Pasquale, the Victoria Vikings. Trying to work himself free for a shot. Back out to Greg Kazanowski. Kazanowski's shot is off, and the rebound again by Fern. With 6 minutes left to play, Waterloo back down the floor. Boyce pumps it back out to Savage. Savage to Bill Jarrett, number 4, at the top of the key. The crowd stand. It's Atkins underneath. And it is deflected out of bounds. And Victoria take over. That was a critical turnover as far as Waterloo was concerned.
It was critical turnover. It broke momentum. But Steve Atkins made an excellent pass. He saw a teammate open underneath and moved the ball to him for a better shot than he had himself. That kind of teamwork is what puts teams like this in a national championship final.
We have just under 6 minutes left to play. 24-20, Victoria leading Waterloo before this jam-packed, highly partisan crowd here at the Waterloo Gymnasium. There is Kazanowski, and it goes out of bounds.
Waterloo changed up their defense again, Kenny. The other night, they went to this defense in a very crucial situation. It's a matchup, and they run Jarrett across the baseline, man-to-man on Martin-Schuber, the best shooter in the forward slot for Victoria. Here we see the pressure. Victoria relentless in extending the pressure against the Warriors.
Now look at Victoria underneath the Savage. Savage against Pasquale. It's in and out. Savage, it's in. The lead and struck to 2 points. Listen to that crowd.
Second shot, transition basketball is not a more exciting event in the country right now. Kenny, this place is just hopping. Emotion is at a fever pitch. What a great game.
No question about that. Pasquale, the man that usually settles Victoria down. The shot is off. The rebound by Gerald Kazanowski underneath, and his pass went awry. And right now, Victoria are flustered.
The crowd's in the game. Kenny Shields needs a timeout. He's had more turnovers than a baker right now.
This is the 1983 CIU Men's Basketball Championship.
Another number. Who called it? Huh? Who called it? No idea. Kenny, I got the Academy Award down here. I really did.
We got a guy with 2 fouls because the charge, like right in the game after the basket, you made the ball, and now they've done it 3 times down there, and we haven't got 1, and you've got 6 or 7 straight fouls on us, and not 1 on them.
Academy Award down here.
All I want you to do is call it both ways.
Okay.
I'll tell you, Waterloo are going to push them to the limit. I really don't care. It's going to be a great game.
I'm going to come in and mention Sport Canada's support here if we have it. If they go to the, I guess they're inbound and we won't have it.
Here we go.
The University of Waterloo, clad in the gold uniforms, have the ball at the end line. They now trail by 2 points, 24-22, with 4.5 minutes left in the first half. They trailed at one stage by 10. They're trying to work against that press of Victoria's, and they bring it down the floor. That is Steve Atkins, who's been outstanding. The shot is off the rim, and the rebound taken by Gerald Kazanowski. Back comes Pasquale. Pasquale to the top of the key. Now slows it down, puts things over, decides to go to the basket, and rims it again. That's his 4th straight rim shot.
I'll tell you, Kenny, Victoria is very cold now, and I think now maybe strategy for them has to be to get back inside with the ball. The guards are loosened up. They've worked on offense from the outside, but they got to get back inside and hit that foul line.
Have your Wrestleback. To Peter Savage, number 21. Savage to the top of the key, touches it up, and we have a tie game with 4 minutes left to play in the first half.
Savage is a great player. If any man can do it and lead his team back, Savage can do it.
Bill, number 15, to Kazanowski. To Groenheid. Quinn goes up. The shot is off the rim. Number Sherman lost the rebound. Chasing after it is number 10 of Juratovic. And number 33 makes a great hook shot. the first half. What it did.
Look at Pasquale's composure now. This is a tense moment in the ballgame, but he's directing his team. He's moving players around. He's talking to them. They got to get a basket right here and break this run that Waterloo's put on him, Kenny. This important series here. Greg Keselowski's back in the ballgame right now for Quinn Gronheim. Experience, fifth-year player. Last time he'll have an opportunity to win the McGee Trophy. Greg Keselowski.
Now there is Gerald Kavanowski right across to Greg with the pass. But not anywhere near as you see the wild excitement in this crowd here as their team goes for their first national championship since 1975. The pass was errant, grabbed in by Kavanowski, looking up, looking. And he puts it in over top of Steve Atkins. The game is tied at 26 with 2:47 left in the first half.
Now, what Waterloo has to do now is make sure that the pressure Victoria's bringing on him on defense doesn't turn the ball over and give Vic a run at the half. They've got control of the game. They've got the crowd and the home court advantage.
Jaresic's shot was off. And back comes Pasquale, 2-on-1 to Gerald Kavanowski. Puts it off, it's in. And Victoria back in front by 2 with 2:25 left.
We're in for a battle right now. That was great, Keselowski, with a lot of composure. Look at the pressure Victoria keeps on this Waterloo team. And Waterloo's handled it fairly well.
They box number 21, Savage in, but he finally gets ahead to Burns. Burns off the rim.
You know, there's a rule in basketball, Kenny, that I always teach. When you're going to the basket and you see a defender in the paint, you got to think about pulling up. And Burns went into the paint that time, kept going, and wound up drawing the charge, and, of course, a turnover. You got to stop and hit that short jumper.
One thing that Waterloo, I thought, were a little errant. They've got to be very careful of their shot selection, too. They can't just throw that ball up from any place.
That's right. They get a little carried away with the emotion of the moment now. They've got to go to percentage basketball down the last 150.
Victoria lead by 2. The alley-oop is off. And Burns gathers the rebound. And Jarrett, number 4. Back from Waterloo to Savage. Savage crashed right into Phil O. To Burns. To Boyce. The shot is rimmed. The rebound is taken by Victoria. Back comes Pasquale, number 13. To the baseline. It's in. What a sensational layup.
Phenomenal shot. Pasquale is like a hot knife through butter. Defenses don't stop him. He carved through there. Made a heck of a drive to the
another loose ball. That is why they call him the catalyst, the quarterback. He did it again.
Right there. Steal the ball. Pressure. Almost through charging foul. Here comes Savage.
10 points, by the way, for Pasquale as Waterloo on the attack. Steve Atkins, then Jarrett. Bill Jarrett, number 4, a veteran of this ball club. Co-captain to Boyce. Boyce missed. Burns tried to rebound. The ball was knocked away from him. Right now, Waterloo a little hesitant. They trail by 6 with less than a minute. The shot is off the rim, and the rebound is taken on the play by Peter Savage. And that is what they have to do. But Waterloo were flustered for about 2 minutes there, and Victoria regained the lead.
Well, both teams are so powerful, but in particular with Victoria's strength, that in the side of 60 seconds, they can put 3 hoops up on the scoreboard, and Waterloo has to be aware of that.
Don McRae says working around. Burns says no, I'll shoot from here. And the lead is 4. Victoria leads 32-28 with 21 seconds left in the first half. It's been an excellent first half of basketball. This crowd is just crazed, and they're pleading with their Waterloo team to tighten up that defense and settle down on offense.
The pace of this game has been extraordinary, Kenny.
Kavanowski from outside, that outside game, they're getting it back again. And that's it. What a great first half. There is no question. That was just a brilliant first half. 34-28 is the score of the game. And at one stage, the University of Victoria led by 10 points. However, Victoria lost that lead and fell behind by 2. But Waterloo seemed to use perhaps questionable shot calls, and with the result, Waterloo just took over. Okay, Don McRae, what's your reaction to that first half? You had the lead, and then you lost it.
Don't forget, we also didn't have the lead. I think we're losing 14-0, and that must be some kind of a record. We didn't score for the first 6 minutes. I'm happy to be a 6-point game.
What about the second half, Don? What are you going to remind your people of?
Well, we're going to remind our people of the game's being officiated. It's as tight an officiated game as I've been in. For a while, there was only one official calling it close. Now they're both calling it close. Both teams should understand now. We've got to deal with their pressure. We still haven't handled it very well.
But Don, looking back at the season, to be only down by 6 is almost like being ahead for your squad.
Well, I hope we haven't got to have it. If we can bust loose here and get ourselves organized when we get to the far end of the floor, because they started to zone on us, and we're still playing man against them, if you can believe it, at the 35th game of the year. We can get that fixed up, then we can play a basket for basket with them.
Thank you very much, Don McRae. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And so with the halftime score, Victoria 34, Waterloo 28. From Waterloo, this is the 1983 CIU Men's Basketball Championship. I thought Brian was going to do that interview from the corner. Oh, okay. Can you bring Brian back? That's too bad. I'm sorry they changed their mind. I didn't realize that's what they're going to do. However, I guess they'll do the same thing with Shields. You put your headsets on, and he wants to talk to us. Dave, Brian's here now.
Yeah. Okay.
What about, you're going to have Brian do the interview, too, with Ken Shields? Okay. Do you want me to do the voiceover on the ladies basketball from here also? All right. Okay. Everything going okay? Thank you.
All right, good. All right, great. That's super.
Super.
So, make sure Babarat knows that.
They'll never accept him as Brooklyn. Hey, super job. Way we did Don, if it's possible. Judy, like to do it the same way we did Don. Last night we gathered at the Waterloo Inn, where we paid tribute to the outstanding players in the country, named the outstanding individual player and the winner of the Mike Moser Memorial Award, and saluted the Coach of the Year. Mrs. Elizabeth Chard, president of the CIAU, certainly pleased with the gathering. John McConaughey naturally feels that men's basketball is one of the highlights of the year. And Wally Delahaye from the University of Waterloo was also very busy finalizing arrangements. Now, let's meet the outstanding basketball players in Canadian University ball.
Forwards, John Carson, Brandon, John Hatch, St. Francis Xavier, Gerald Kazanowski of Victoria. The guards, Eli Pasquale, Victoria, and Carl Tilleman of the University of Calgary. John Carson, all the way from Huntersville, North Carolina, averaged almost 20 points a game last year and was the most valuable player of the Brock tournament. John Hatch, a Calgary boy going to St. Francis Xavier, was the third in the nation in scoring and seventh in all of Canada in rebounding. Gerald Kazanowski, former BC High School Athlete of the Year, leads all of Canada in field goals at 69%. Leads his team offensively and defensively. Eli Pasquale, Victoria Male Athlete of the Year, considered Victoria's catalyst. Carl Tilleman, fourth-year pre-med student from the University of Calgary, is also Calgary's Athlete of the Year, considered the greatest scorer in the school's history. The second team, Kelly Dukeshire, Victoria, Bo Hampton, Dalhousie. Jude Kelly of Brandon, Gary McKeegan of Concordia, and Grant Greenwood of the University of Winnipeg. Kelly Dukeshire, a national teamer since 1981, is in his final year of eligibility at the University of Victoria. Bo Hampton from Dalhousie, back after a year off basketball, an all-star at 4 university tournaments and comes from Massachusetts. Jude Kelly, a great veteran from Hamilton, in his final year of basketball eligibility and a consistent all-star since 1980. Gary McKeegan from Brantford, Ontario, considered as Concordia's greatest scorer of all time, an all-star in Quebec since '79. Grant Greenwood, University of Winnipeg, third-year artsman from Dayton, Ohio, most valuable player at both the Manitoba Amateur and the Westman Classic. And the Coach of the Year, from Prince Rupert, played basketball at the University of Calgary and UBC, Ken Shields, Coach of the Year for an unprecedented 4th time and looking for his 4th national championship. And the most outstanding player in Canada, the Mike Moser Memorial Award winner for the 2nd consecutive year, Carl Tillman. They call him King Carl. His ambition, member of Canada's national team.
So there they are, the best basketball players in Canada. No doubt the caliber, university basketball is improving each and every year by leaps and bounds. Coming up next, a look at the University of Waterloo. It's 34-28, by the way, here for the University of Victoria over Waterloo in this national final. And there's also plenty of joy, I might point out, at Bishop's University at Lennoxville, Quebec, because last week in Winnipeg, they defeated Victoria 64-49 to win the National Women's Championship. It's the first national championship in that school's history. And to Bruce Coulter and the coach Wayne Hussey, congratulations. Andrea Blackwell, Wendy Barecchia, and Lynn Polson led them to their big victory, and I might add that Lynn was also named the outstanding player of that tournament. She is indeed the quarterback on that team, but I know that Wayne Hussey, athletic director Bruce Coulter from Bishop's University, just elated. They've been the toast of the campus all week. The consolation final last night, Brandon won it by defeating St. Mary's by a score of 8-5. Now, Brian Heaney, how about assessing and analyzing that first half?
Well, I think that in the first half, the key statistics are the rebounds and also the turnovers. We see Waterloo leading in rebounds, but also they have more turnovers, and that's had a balancing effect on the ball game. I think here we can see one of the keys to the first half that actually was a turning point. Waterloo was out of the game, but you see the 1-3-1 zone here in the dark players that Waterloo threw up against Victoria. Now, this was the defense that gave the Vikings a hard time the other night against the St. Mary's Huskies and almost put them in jeopardy of losing the ball game. I think in the second half, Victoria is going to have to solve this defense if they're going to come out a winner. I think this defense and Victoria's opposition to it is going to spell victory or defeat in the second half.
With the score, Victoria 34, Waterloo 28. This is the 1983 CIAU Men's Basketball Championship. Brian can talk to him, right? Okay, good.
Who's going to lead him?
Okay, I'll introduce him. Ken, can you hear us okay? Yep. You hear me okay?
Better turn up your volume. I can't hear anything.
I can hear you.
You got it. Can you hear me, Kenny?
hear that now.
Okay, we'll be all right.
Can you hear me, Kenny?
Yeah.
All right, great. I can hear you.
Coming through loud and clear. Very good. We'll get a cue soon, Kim. We'll keep you long. Coming up not much longer. Coach of the Year, Ken Shields, Victoria Vikings. Ken, what was there in that first half that did not make you very happy?
Well, I think you're asking a leading question. I wasn't happy about the comeback. We established our momentum and played, I thought, very good defense early in the ball game. Made good selections. Then we got a little bit hurried, and we didn't really execute on offense as well as I would have liked to.
Kenny, I want to know about the 1-3-1 zone. I think that was part and parcel of Waterloo's comeback. They changed their defense from man-to-man. You faced the 1-3-1 against St. Mary's the other night. What do you see your team having to do in the second half if that defense shows up again?
We know what we have to do. We have to execute. We've got some things. We've got to get the ball inside. We can't play as long as we did without Gerald Kazanowski. And we got to, we have to execute. We know what we have to do in terms of technical things. We just have to execute.
Ken, will we see Kelly Dukeshire in the second half?
Very doubtful.
Thank you very much, Ken Shields. And that's the situation. You heard that Kelly Dukeshire, who is with the national team, a 5-year man at the University of Victoria, their great power forward, will not likely play. And when you consider that, you've got to realize the character of this Victoria team to be in the ball game like they are.
Well, that's right, Kenny, and that has to tear Dukeshire up. He is such a competitor. He's such a fierce competitor. I know that he is the type of player that would play hurt, but he really must be hurting. And I wouldn't be surprised that Vic turns this to their advantage. Win one for Kelly. Win one for Kelly. I can hear the locker room scene now on their way out.
You know what? I know that Ken Shields said prior to the game, Brian, he said to his guys, this is the toughest championship of all. You might have to win it without Kelly. You might have to win it in a foreign gymnasium, a hostile crowd. This will show us if we really have the kind of character and greatness that we think we have. And that's Victoria on the attack. Underneath the Derbyshire, and it's in, and they get away to a good start, and they jump in front by 8 points. The second half is just underway. We noticed that Peter Savage led Waterloo in the first half with 10 points. Steve Atkin had 7, Dave Burns had 5, while Eli Pasquale had 10 for Victoria, and many of them critically ran out 6 in a row toward the end. He was checked right there, and it was Kazanowski hitting from outside for 6. That's Gerald underneath the Derbyshire, off the check.
Good pump fake by Derbyshire. He kept his feet, kept his balance, showed the basketball, got the defensive man to stand, and then went up and put it in. Now, Waterloo's got the crowd in the game when they don't score, but they can't afford to let Victoria build another big lead in this second half. They've got to get rolling right away in this second half.
They shot by Paul Van Oorschot is off, and again the foul called, and Eli Pasquale was knocked down. There is Kelly Dukeshire, 6'6", 205-pounder from Victoria, from Royal Oak High School, and you can rest assured that he is suffering. He is indeed not only a great basketball player, a great person.
He's a tremendous young man, so well-spoken, alert, bright-eyed. He's going to do things with his life, I'll tell you, and he's done fabulous things with the opportunity he's had in Canadian intercollegiate basketball.
I might add, too, that also playing their final game, Gerald and Greg Kazanowski, Tom Derbyshire. So along with Greg Kazanowski, Gerald Kazanowski, Tom Derbyshire, and Kelly Dukeshire, this is it. As you see a battle going on underneath the basket between that same Gerald Kazanowski and Phil Jarrett, the co-captain, number 4. Very physical out there. You notice the on elbow coming high. They're giving you the knee and the push when they can. Known as intimidation.
Here's the crowd again. Almost 2 minutes. Waterloo hasn't scored.
Could you believe that? As Van Oorschot trying to settle it down in there and just would not go.
rim.
But it's Pasquale, and he missed, and Jarrett on the rebound. A key rebound by the veteran Phil Jarrett. Punt down the floor by Peter Savage. To Jarrett. Jarrett looking for Burns. Van Oor shot underneath to Atkins, who goes to the glass for 2 points. That's what they wanted. And the lead now is cut to 8 points. Play just underway here in the second half. I'd like to thank Karl Kotsky, the athletic dean here at the University of Waterloo, Walt Delahaye, who is in charge of this tournament, along with Don McRae, Bob McKillop, and the gentleman in charge of publicity and information, Paul Condon. They have been so absolutely supportive and helpful. They have made the job very easy for our producer, Dave Waite, and for Brian Heaney and myself. But what about Judy McRae, Don's wife? She has been the gal that's looked after our every need personally, and she done a good job. Thank you, Judy.
And you know, Kenny, someone else that has to be mentioned is Sport Canada themselves and the tremendous support that they give to Canadian inter-university athletics. Abby Hoffman, the director, and they have enjoyed the new format. They will support it again next year. And without that support, athletics in this country could not grow.
You notice that the shot was off the rim. There is Jarrett. They're working around the perimeter. Van Oor shot. Back out to Peter Savage. Underneath the Burns. Look for Van Oor shot. Then decided to go off to Atkins. It's off the rim. Rebound by Gerald Kazanowski. Kazanowski, number 24, just does everything so well. Pasquale. Back out in front. Taken again by Gerald Kazanowski. Bill Ole is out there, number 15. A foul is called against number 21, the leader of the Waterloo squad, Peter Savage. And Peter Savage is going to be replaced, and coming out is the hustling Bob Rusovic from Kitchener High School. There's Pasquale, number 13. Victoria wearing the dark blue on the attack. And they lead by 38-30, play just underway. For 21, Brasic.
Well, Brasic's a great shooter, and in the post area of that zone, if teams aren't aware that he is an excellent shooter at 6'7", he'll hurt him, and he took that turnaround jump shot and bottomed it down.
Dave Atkins, the Van Oor shot. There's Atkins looking underneath, comes back out, the shot. We've got 16 minutes left in the game, 40-32, with Victoria out in front. This is the 1983 CIAU Men's Basketball Championship.
Hey, Murray, is that hitting it on?
Too much. Right? 21. Don't leave him.
He said that too.
Right? Defensively, very important that we keep pressure on the ball. If we don't keep pressure on the ball, they flow into their offense. Go ahead, Craig. You're leaving Savage too much.
Well, you can watch for that. Watch number 12, Greg Kazanowski, on number 21, Savage of Waterloo. Let's see what happens. And Waterloo take the errant pass. Coming back down the floor is Bob Rusovic. Rusovic to Jarrett. To Atkin. Atkin didn't shoot. Van Oor shot number 44. Gives it to Jarrett. They try it to Atkin again. But the foul is called on Rusovic, number 21.
You know, Kenny, I was talking to Al Ray, the signer of officials here at the CIU tournament. I said, Al, is this the easiest game in the year for an official to do? And he said, if both teams come to play, yes, it is. The caliber's so high.
Well, there's no question that both teams come to play. There's Obrasovic, number 10 to Jarrett, number 4 of Waterloo. They need this shot. Obrasovic. 15 seconds to get that shot away. The shot clock is running.
First time we've seen a zone at Victoria all afternoon. They've been man-to-man, so Kenny Shields trying to change the tempo and rhythm of this game.
Tough look on that. The rebound is taken by Gerald Kazanowski. Kazanowski stands in there at 6'7", the young man from Nanaimo. Described by Jack Donahue as somebody that just does everything well.
Hold it.
You see right now, we've got a 1-3-1 zone. Out of that timeout, both coaches earning their keep. Kenny Shields went to a 2-3 zone. Don McCray back to the 1-3-1 zone. I think still what he saw in the semifinals, he believes can turn the tide for him.
No shot.
Kazanowski.
Falls 10.
Fouled by number 10, Bob Obrasovic. You saw him go over top.
Don McCray calling to the official, going over the top, going over the top. Thinks Urasovic at 5'10" is being hard done by in there with those Giants.
And Urasovic ends up with a loose ball.
What's the control here? Urasovic is a controlled backcourt player. He won't make a wild move or an unplanned move in the fast break. He'll pull up and look the situation over.
Jarrett was short. A questionable shot selection there by team captain Phil Jarrett. Pasquale finds the jumper.
Out here, no shot, 10.
It's off. And the foul is called on Bob Urasovic.
Hold here, no shot.
Well, that's two quick ones on Urasovic. Of course, Pasquale's very quick. It's tough for anybody to control him in transition.
The tempo just slowing down a little bit during the last few seconds. This is the 1983 CIU Men's Basketball Championship.
Who are the referees? Steve's.
I understand. It's okay that there's gonna be three perimeter guys on this side then.
That's correct.
Okay?
That's correct. Inside. Okay? You just slide. You just have to work with the 5-man, basically.
Okay.
Where are you going, guys? We're flattening out here.
Come on now, Nico.
One notch, right now. Let's go.
Coach Don McCray concerned that his Waterloo Warriors are flattening out. They'll try and become more physical again, try to take the inspiration from the crowd and put it into action here on the floor.
McCray changed his defense again now. It looks like a 2-3. Let's see. Jarrett's on the wing. No, it's still a 1-3-1. They're closing off the inside.
Narva-Schuber, a great 24-foot shot.
And if Narva-Schuber hits that shot, they're going to have to get out of the 1-3-1 zone. He's an excellent shooter as well.
The crowd come up again as Greg Kazanowski draws the ball. And big Steve Atkins down the highway at Oakville will pass it in. Don McCray can't say enough about what Atkins has meant to this basketball team this year. Talking about Don McCray, he's been here since 1971-72, Brian, and at one time won 7 consecutive Ontario championships. Don't tell me good coaching doesn't count.
That's right. Don McCray is one of the best coaches in the country. And, of course, he's won this national championship in 1975 right here at this gym on a buzzer shot by a fellow named Phil Goggins.
Who?
Phil Goggins, right from the corner. A very key member of that 75 team, but not one of the superstars.
He'd be in the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, I'll tell you.
I guess he will. He'd be in Don McCray's Hall of Fame, I'll tell you that.
A 10-point lead for Victoria. They lead 42-32. 13 and a half minutes left as Victoria bring the ball down the floor. That's young Dan Brasic from Penticton, number 21. The Greg Kazanowski from Nanaimo, British Columbia, 50-year man, the brother Gerald. Gerald across the zone to Tom Narva-Schuber. Back to Pasquale, 8 seconds left for a shot. Pasquale, bounce pass to Gerald Kazanovsky off the rim. The rebound is taken by Greg Kazanovsky, and he rang it.
Ron Foxcroft right on that play, contact, but incidental contact in his opinion, so no whistle. Greg Kazanovsky's been a big factor in this game.
In fact, I was going to suggest that maybe Greg Kazanovsky is playing the best I've ever seen him play in a national final.
It's a swan song for the brothers Kazanovsky, and Greg has just been the ice nail in the pockets against those zones. He's made some excellent outside shots.
Peter Savage, second-year man, going to the line. He's from Preston High School. And what a great basketball player. Led the team as a freshman in scoring. Come back as a sophomore and led the team in scoring.
Kenny, Waterloo's got to make a move right here. If Savage makes this shot, it's a 10-point lead for Victoria. 12 and change left on the clock.
Just like to mention, too, about Savage, he's a 93% student.
Got 100% in his grade 13 math in Ontario coming into Waterloo.
Okay, another shot like he made against Brandon the other night. He'll get 100% every paper he writes. Loose ball as Jarrett turned it over. And Greg Kazanovsky and Eli Pasquale slow it down for Victoria. 10-point lead for Victoria. That's Gerald Kazanovsky, 6'7", gives it to brother Greg. His shot from the corner is out, and Van Oorschot saves it for Waterloo. A big rebound.
Big basket right here. Waterloo's got to get on the scoreboard right here. Savage has got to take over.
And Savage did what you told him.
You think he heard me, Kenny? About 6,000 screaming voices? I don't know.
14 points for Peter Savage. 14. Remember, he's only a second-year player. There is Gerald Kazanovsky. Bounce pass to Pasquale. Rebound. Pasquale again. It's in. A sensational fadeaway jump shot.
Unbelievable. Pasquale took on the 7-footer. He just refused to back away. Got a turnaround jump shot, a key basket, and again, Pasquale involved.
Jarrett tries it this time. Cut it short, and Gerald Kazanovsky was there to intercept and start Victoria right back down the floor. That's Pasquale. That's Tom Novershire, number 30. Rejected on the play by Randy Norris. And Pasquale trying to shake off the check by Van Oorschot.
Kenny, it's a forest in there. 7-footers, 6'10", flying around. Pasquale taking him to the hole. There's a lot of action inside. The referees have done a great job in this ballgame, too. Kenny Shields calling for the foul on the sideline. Too much noise. Officials can't hear him.
Bill Jarrett, number 4, to the baseline. It's a good one. And that's his first 2 points of the game.
And Jarrett, you know, big-time games like this, Kenny, you always look for the unsung hero. A guy like Jarrett could surface right here in the last 10 minutes and be influential in a comeback for Waterloo.
And remember what I told you about Jarrett, a forward playing defense. He sacrificed maybe a career just to help the team. Randy Brussett tries it from 20. It's off the ring. Rebound. Taken by Savage.
Jarrett doing something very, very well fundamentally here. He's got his eyes up the whole time down the floor. Look for the open man ahead of him.
Victoria at the 8-point lead. There is underneath. The boys back out to Savage. And he rung the bell.
Crowd's going nuts. Kenny, this place is lit up right now. Victoria cannot let Savage get off. Kenny Shields just called a timeout to break the momentum.
10 minutes and 23 seconds left in the game. This is the 1983 CIAU Men's Basketball Championship.
Just tell Ollie.
Dave, just send money.
Let's talk about the mascots.
We got so much basketball, that's all. You know, I don't want to. You didn't. Sure, pass or a mark, that's okay.
Screw the game. Let's get our priorities straight.
partisan Waterloo crowd in the athletic activity building on the campus of the University of Waterloo. They have watched their team come back to within 6 points of the highly favored defending Canadian champion University of Victoria. And there is no question with 10 minutes and 23 seconds left to play that they will draw upon all their great athletic instincts and ability to come up here. And right now, the twain of the crowd are pulling for Waterloo. And they want their team to check them now. That pass almost went away from Greg Kazanowski. Then you have to watch Eli Pasquale, 13. Take the peek of the shot clock. Goes up. But the shot is short, and Randy Doris grabbed it. And Jarrett will bring the ball up court.
Morris is getting a great deal of experience in this ball game. A young freshman playing with some poise out there, and he's been a factor on the backboards in this half against a great front court from Victoria.
Steve Atkins back out to Savage, and Savage takes it back over the center line. I should, of course, and must mention that Ken Shields, like Don McRae, what a great program he runs in Victoria. It only stands to reason you've won 3 Canadian championships in a row. He has been there 7 years, and I think they've won the Canada West 6 times.
Well, that's right, Kenny, and like anything else in life, success breeds success. Once you get it rolling, it's tough to stop it.
Rebound, great shot taken by Gerald, back to Pasquale, and he dropped it in.
And Savage did a great job contesting the shot. Pasquale's concentration is just unshakable.
8 points separate these two teams. Victoria leading Waterloo 48-40. 9 minutes left to play. Boyce in the corner.
You know, Kenny, Don McRae, I know his coaching philosophy. He thinks there are several points in the game. Perhaps 3, 4 times you can make a run at winning the game. Waterloo just came off one before that timeout. Now, if they dry out here, they may only have one more chance.
Savage shot, a great athletic effort by Steve Atkins as he tipped the ball back out to Jarrett. Jarrett gives the squad a signal. Let's settle down.
Got Victoria in the zone now. What Kenny Shields is saying, you come to us. You're going to have to score outside. We're going to try to keep you outside for the outside shot so that you're not on the backboard. You're not putting us in foul trouble with 8 minutes and a half to go.
Savage shot was off. Steve's shot was off. Rebound was gathered in by Phil Ohl, number 15, who's out on the floor right now.
21, yes.
Phil Ohl from Port May, the fouls against 21. Peter Savage, and that's his 3rd foul of the game. We notice that Jarrett has 3, Savage has 3, and Van Oorschot also has 3 fouls.
You know, Van Oorschot and Savage with a 1-2 punch in the ballgame the other night, and I notice here that Don McRae's subbing one for the other for a small portion of this game. I think Waterloo's toughest when both those young fellas are in the game together.
Pasquale has 16 points, but now has 17. He's on the line.
You know,
Pasquale has 12, now has 13, and hit for 14. Savage has hit for 16 points thus far in the game. 2 great basketball players.
Look at the pressure by Victoria. Relentless, waiting for a mistake by Waterloo.
Great interception on the play by Phil Ohl. Back down the court, the jump shot. It's not good.
21.
Kenny Pasquale's pumped up. You can see it in his eyes right now. And I'd say if there's a rule of thumb, and if Don McRae can control anything, he cannot mess with Eli Pasquale down the stretch of this game. He's got to do something to put that young lad under control because he'll take the game over and win it by himself.
Eli Pasquale will go to the line.
What a competitor this young fella is.
He's just a great basketball player. And you know the thing about Eli Pasquale, he doesn't, he's only 6 foot tall, but the way he plays, he's about 7'2". He rimmed that, a rarity. But the rebound is taken by Greg Kazanowski. Back to Eli, tries the screen, and is off. Taken by Boyce to Jarrett, and back up Waterloo. Trailing by 11 points, 51-40, with 7 minutes, 46 seconds left. Atkins tried to go to the basket, could not, and there is a foul called on number 33.
Three.
All Boyce, the Sudbury High School boy. And
Shooter, who was the man with the ball?
There's no doubt we've got 7:41 left in this action pack. This is the 1983 CIAU Men's Basketball Championship.
33. Our goal.
We get a couple of kids like Pasquale maybe and Kazanowski, the big one, on the foul line. Let's talk about the world's new format next year.
The W.P. McGee Trophy, emblematic of Canadian College Men's Basketball Championship. On the line, Victoria lead at 51-40, and on the line for Victoria, Eli Pasquale.
You know, next summer, or this summer, Kenny, in Edmonton, the World University Games, 45 teams from around the world, from different countries will be competing for the World Games Championship. A good chance, Eli Pasquale, Kelly Dukeshire, Gerald Kazanowski, Carl Tillman, some of the great Canadian intercollegiate players will be there representing Canada.
And Brian, good luck to you and your staff at the University of Alberta, who of course are the focal organizers of that event. And Atkins is the focal man on that shot, as he again has his team within 11, 53-42 with 7:20 left to play. University games are going to be tremendously exciting. Don McRae is hardly busy. He's the national women's coach. He's got to get them ready for the University games, the Pan Am games, and the World Championships in Bolivia.
And the women are rated in the top 5 in the world, of course.
Right. Rebound. Gathered in for Victoria by Phil O, young man from courting number 15. Gerald Kazanowski just quietly goes about his duty. Tries to drive to the baseline. The ball was knocked away and gathered in by Paul Van Oorschot. We've got less than 7 minutes to play. And Waterloo have got to settle down.
They've got to settle down, but they've also got to make a run right now. You know, it's like in boxing, Kenny, you've got to have a knockout punch. And I'm not so sure with the size that Waterloo has on the floor that they can bring a full quarter and a half court press to bear. They've only got 6 minutes left, and they've got a 10-point, 11-point margin here. They've got to do something to change momentum.
And you saw that turnover, which really has to hurt them. Right now, Waterloo's at 22 turnovers, Victoria 19. 6:24 left, 53-42. Victoria lead by 11. There's Gerald Kazanowski. Trying to drive his way to the basket. However, he is fouled on the offensive foul, and Waterloo take over.
Surprised to see Gerald bounce that basketball. One of the rules of thumb, when the big man gets the ball inside, never put it on the floor where the defense can get to it.
Garrett, Paul Van Oorschot. Atkins is going to try it from 20. It's off the rim. And the rebound is knocked away, and Gerald Kazanowski draws the foul. Kazanowski only his third.
Great hustle on Kazanowski's part. That was a tough one to control. The ball was loose in the air, and Gerald just threw his body out of contact, accrued, and the referee blown for the foul.
Van Oorschot, number 44. Right across the seam to Savage. Baker takes the rebound, decides to put it up, and a shot got away from him. Hit the sideboard, and back comes Victoria. With 5:44 left to play, 53-42 Victoria lead.
I think inexperience is shown here a little bit. With Waterloo, you've got to go to your ace. Savage has to be the man to get the ball. Everybody has to give up with themselves.
Great hustle on the play by Jarrett to Savage, but Savage couldn't handle the pass. It goes out of bounds, and Victoria take over. Again, another turnover that they could ill afford at that stage. Talking about the University of Victoria, we must not forget Kelly Dukeshire, their second team All-Canadian, their national team member, their fifth-year co-captain, has been unable to play because of a sprained ankle, but they still have been able to rise to the occasion to the point with 5:30 left in the game, they lead by 11 points.
get a couple of kids like Pasquale maybe and Kazanowski, the big one, on the foul line. Let's talk about the World Student Games, the men qualifying for the Olympics this summer, national team, bring that into it. Also, yeah, that's good. Growth of the college game, new format next year.
The W.P. McGee Trophy, emblematic of Canadian College Men's Basketball Championship. On the line, Victoria lead at 51-40, and on the line for Victoria, Eli Pasquale.
You know, next summer, or this summer, Kenny, in Edmonton, the World University Games, 45 teams from around the world, from different countries, will be competing for the World Games Championship. A good chance, Eli Pasquale, Kelly Dukeshire, Gerald Kazanowski, Carl Tillman, some of the great Canadian intercollegiate players will be there representing Canada.
And Brian, good luck to you and your staff at the University of Alberta, who of course are the focal organizers of that event. And Atkins is the focal man on that shot, as he again has his team within 11, 53-42 with 7:20 left to play. University games are going to be tremendously exciting. Don McRae is hardly busy. He's the national women's coach. He's got to get them ready for the University games, the Pan Am games, and the World Championships in Bolivia.
And the women are rated in the top 5 in the world, of course.
Right. Rebound. Gathered in for Victoria by Phil O, young man from courting number 15. Gerald Kazanowski just quietly goes about his duty. Tries to drive to the baseline. The ball was knocked away and gathered in by Paul Van Oorschot. We've got less than 7 minutes to play. And Waterloo have got to settle down.
They've got to settle down, but they've also got to make a run right now. You know, it's like in boxing, Kenny, you got to have a knockout punch. And I'm not so sure with the size that Waterloo has on the floor that they can bring a full quarter and half-court press to bear. They've only got 6 minutes left, and they got a 10-point, 11-point margin here. They've got to do something to change momentum.
And you saw that turnover, which really has to hurt them. Right now, Waterloo's at 22 turnovers, Victoria 19. 6:24 left, 53-42. Victoria lead by 11. There's Gerald Kazanowski trying to drive his way to the basket. However, he is fouled on the offensive foul, and Waterloo take over.
Surprised to see Gerald bounce that basketball. One of the rules of thumb, when the big man gets the ball inside, never put it on the floor where the defense can get to it.
Garrett, Paul Van Oorschot. Atkins is going to try it from 20. It's off the rim. And the rebound is knocked away, and Gerald Kazanowski draws the foul. Kazanowski only his third.
Great hustle on Kazanowski's part. That was a tough one to control. The ball was loose in the air, and Gerald just threw his body at it in contact, accrued, and the referee blown for the foul.
Van Oorschot, number 44. Right across the seam to Savage. Baker takes the rebound, decides to put it up, and a shot got away from it. Hit the sideboard, and back comes Victoria with 5:44 left to play. 53-42 Victoria lead.
I think inexperience is shown here a little bit. With Waterloo, you've got to go to your ace. Savage has to be the man to get the ball. Everybody has to give up with themselves.
Great hustle on the play by Jarrett to Savage, but Savage couldn't handle the pass. It goes out of bounds, and Victoria takeover. Again, another turnover that they could ill afford at that stage. Talking about the University of Victoria, we must not forget Kelly Dukeshire, their second team All-Canadian, their national team member, their fifth-year co-captain, has been unable to play because of a sprained ankle, but they still have been able to rise to the occasion to the point with 5:30 left in the game, they lead by 11 points.
3 seconds quick. Okay? We can't turn the damn ball over. Just execute in the high post. Even look to run guard back door. You know, look to diagonal. Yeah. Let's run diagonal right now to Eli.
matchup zone going man-to-man. I think Kenny Shields picked that up. We're going to see the ball go into one corner of the floor, and they're going to try to run one of the guards on the opposite side of the floor, backdoor to the basket. The forward will throw right over the top of the defense into the guard's hands for the layup. Let's see if it works.
The thousands of Waterloo supporters stand and urge the Warriors to strengthen that defense. Gerald Kazanowski to Tom Navrasher. The alley-oop to Gerald Kazanowski. It's blocked. A great rejection shot. The rebound is taken again by Atkins. There's Garrett. Long pass. Savage tried to save it and could not. As Waterloo's fast break game has become erratic.
Well, Waterloo's fast break game may be erratic, but let's give tribute to Victoria's recovery. They had 3 blue shirts back at the back end of that fast break, putting defensive pressure in transition.
Watch Pasquale. With 4 minutes and 48 seconds left, it's now 55-42. Victoria have jumped into a 13-point lead. Look at the effort by Savage. The shot is off. I believe that Savage actually is getting tired.
Well, I'll tell you, you get tired in this game physically, mentally, or emotionally. And I think Savage, with so many close games down the stretch drive, 1-point win for the Ontario Championship, has been riding on his shoulders. They call him Super Savage, Super Sophomore, but he's got to be tired.
Navrasher was checked by David Burns. However, Victoria bring the ball in from the side. That's Gerald Kazanowski, number 24, being watched by Burns. Bounce pass to Navrasher, and his errant pass right into the hands of Jarrett. Jarrett going to the backboard. And he rims it. And it's not over till it's over. 55-44, 11 points for Victoria, 3:53 left.
Got to pick up their intensity right here. Kenny, I'd like to see some sort of pressure, some sort of trap, half court, full court, anything to get this team back in the ball game for the last 3:40.
The foul is against Peter Savage. That's his 4th foul of the game.
You know, Kenny, what a tribute. What a tribute to this campus, to the organizers of the tournament. 6,000 people on their feet, and their host Warriors are losing by 11. They're not quitting. One thing's for sure, if Don McRae considers this crowd his 6th man, the 6th man never quit on him today.
It certainly did not. And they're the kind of crowd they'd be here even if Waterloo wasn't. We found that out 2 years ago. Rebound taken by Van Oerschacht. That's back in the ball game is Bob Aresovic. That's number 10, Aresovic. If anybody can get them started, he can. He tries to pass to Atkins. Foul is called on Gerald Kazanowski. Kazanowski's 4th foul of the game.
4th foul for Gerald, and I know he's irritated now because one of the things you don't want to do now is stop the clock. The clock is with Victoria. The more often it's ticking away, the better off they are. So fouls are really a bad situation now.
Atkins tried the shot from underneath, now off the glass. There's 3.
Here's the press, Kenny, here's the press. Now they've got to make some turnovers. They're against Victoria.
And they get the ball.
There we go. This place is lighting up, Kenny.
There's Jarrett looking. Back out to Uresovic. Uresovic is going to try it, and it's in and out. The rebound, an important rebound, is taken by Pasquale, and they call the foul. On foul, Van Oerschacht. For Van Oerschacht, that's his 4th foul. What a lot of action there was there for a few seconds. 3 minutes, 6 seconds left. 55-46, Victoria out in front. The officials, Ron Foxcroft and Dick Steve, they've done an outstanding job here today.
I think they've done a great job. Look at right here, there's a lot of contact. There's no question but that was a foul. The problem is that there's so much contact in there. All of these kids are given every ounce of energy, every ounce of drive, every ounce of competitive instinct that they have within them to win this championship. What a credit to university sport.
Earlier this year, McMaster in this gym was leading Waterloo by 16 points with 2 minutes and 48 seconds left. Do you know that Waterloo came back, won the game in overtime by 16 points?
That's an unbelievable story, but they call this team the cardiac kids, the heartbeat kids. And I'll tell you right now, if they can create a turnover right now with the clock stopped and put another bucket on the scoreboard, we could be in for another one of those situations.
But of course, we do not at any time want to take anything away from the defending champion University of Victoria. What a credit they are to their university. Well, no wonder Dr. Patch out there is such a great basketball fan, because these people are the greatest ambassadors any campus could possibly have.
Well, that's right.
Another thing we should mention is that they won in Calgary at the regional tournament against Calgary in the final. They won in Edmonton in the regional tournament against your team, Alberta, and now here in Waterloo, they're trying to win the national championship against another home host team. That is an incredible accomplishment.
Well, that's right. Now, Kenny Shields may not know it, but the Coaches Association designed that new format especially for him because we knew he needed a challenge.
The shot by Atkin is off. Less than 3 minutes to go. And Waterloo trailed by 9. Gerald Kazanowski against Jarrett. To Eli Pasquale, number 13. Hands the ball off on the plate of Narbershipper underneath, and Narbershipper battles for the loose ball with Paul Van Oor's shot. It'll be that alternate
jump ball.
Victoria keep the ball.
And that was beneficial to Victoria on that occasion.
Eli Pasquale, 2:38 left. Victoria lead by 9. Narbershipper. Oh, bounce pass to Gerald Kazanowski. Hooked it off. Point 33. Retains the rebound. 2:26. Here from Waterloo. Savage. Rimmed it. Rebound is off.
2-4. You're the shooter. You're the shooter.
Now there's Van Oor's shot. He knew.
Called for the foul.
He knew right away that that was his 5th foul. But I'll tell you, that was no mistake on that young lad's part. He banged the boards just as he had to do in that situation. He was up on the rim, had his hands on the ball, contact was created. There's nothing you can do about that, Kenny.
That young man gets a hand from the crowd here, and I might add that Don McRae told me that if there's a most valuable player, and there always is on every team, he thinks that maybe Paul Van Oor's shot, because of his all-round effort and all-round brilliance, he's another 95% student of the math major. He is fouled out. And we have 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. 55-46. Victoria lead by 9. But this crowd are so proud of their basketball team, they're standing as if they were ahead by 9.
That's right. They're chanting Warriors, Warriors. They appreciate the season they've given them. And if they don't come back here, there's not going to be one disappointed fan in this gymnasium. What thrills they've had from November right through to March.
Gerald Kazanowski.
Hey, you guys, clean it.
Leads by 10.
Come on, clean it.
You can hear the official telling the players to settle down. 2:19 left. And the lead now goes to 11. Victoria leads 57-46. Back from Waterloo. Bill Jarrett, number 4. 2:14 left. The crowd applauding, urging Jarrett to Savage. Savage got away from the check. The shot is off. The rebound is taken by Savage from behind. It's off. Bird. It's in. And it's 57-48.
Put it back to 9. They've got to have a steal here. They've got to try and stop the clock now. Stopping the clock can be to Victoria's advantage if they're hitting on the foul line, but Waterloo has no choice.
And he missed it.
There was a lot of contact on that play. Kenny, I'll tell you, he called out of bounds. Dick Stevedale called out of bounds, but there was a lot of contact.
We have 1 minute and 45 seconds left to play. 57-48. Victoria lead by 9. An important pass in. It's tipped back to Pasquale. Number 13 being watched by Savage, 21. Watched away, now goes to the baseline. His shot is in.
Just tremendous, Kenny. 6 feet 1, 6 feet 2. Quickness, agility, grace, poise. Takes it right to the big man and scores the hoop. I think we're seeing history made here today in the next minute and a half.
Shot by Atkins with 1 minute and 18 seconds left. Long pass down the floor. Gerald Kazanowski drops it in. Pasquale, by the way, has 23 points. There's Jarrett, number 4. Check from behind by Gerald Kazanowski, who draws the foul. That's only his second. We have 1 minute and 8 seconds left. 61-50. Victoria lead by 11. But what basketball, what effort, what courage by both ball clubs.
Tremendous defense by Victoria in the second half, and I know Ken Shields believes Defense is the consistent aspect of the game. You can coach it, you can count on it, and they did a great job defensively today. Waterloo, a national finalist, has only 50 points up on the scoreboard, and I think, I'm a believer, Ken, I'm a believer, but I think we're going to see Victoria as the 4-time national champion right here in the next minute.
You're a heck of a gambler.
Who would bet against McRae's Warriors this year?
Gerald Kazanowski with less than a minute to play, and Victoria leading by 11. Trying to work the ball down. The crowd are roaring, just trying to urge them to come up with that loose ball. The shot by Narbershubber, he drops it in. 63-50, and Victoria will soon celebrate the pennant and the WPB McGee Trophy for the 4th time. Boyce's shot is off the rim. We have 38 seconds left. Eli Pasquale, 23 points, no fouls, and he's been all over the court.
He's been all over the court, and he understands one of the great principles of defensive play: never reach, just exert pressure. Imagine full court pressing, shutting down Waterloo's guards, and not committing a foul in the whole game. Just a great mental effort on the part of Pasquale.
And he had to do that. He had to come off the bench against St. Mary's when his team, with 10 minutes left to play, was trailing by 3. And in that game, hit for 6 consecutive points with 4 minutes to go.
How about young Phil Ohl, number 15 out there on the left part of our screen right now, substituting for Kelly Dukeshire. Sat the bench for a couple of years here with these talent-laden Vikes and performed like a veteran. Did a great job today.
And he's only 19 years old. 19. 30 seconds left.
He's one of the hungry ones, you know, and he's paid his dues, he's paid the price, and he's ready to play next year.
And the timeout has been called. 63-52, Victoria lead by 11 points. And with only 30 seconds left, you have to concede Victoria the national championship for an unprecedented 4th consecutive time. But you certainly also have to give full credit to the Waterloo Warriors, who have been so heroic, and they have battled in this particular game and have never at any stage been given up or lost their poise.
Well, that's right, Kenny. A great tribute to a very young team. Waterloo is very young. A lot of first and second year players, and I think for the coaches around the country, that's going to be disturbing, because this team is not going to break apart. They're going to get better and better.
Ken Shields will lose 4 people. The 2 Kazanowskis, Kelly Dukeshire, and Tom Narbershubber will all graduate this year.
And they've had great careers, and I know that Kenny Shields is going to be sorry to see them go, but they've contributed to a dynasty. They've contributed to the building of a program in that area of the country, and those young men have been nothing but a credit to intercollegiate athletics across Canada.
19-year-old Phil Ohl to the veteran Kazanowski to Eli Pasquale. 26 seconds left. The bounce pass back to Greg Kazanowski to brother Gerald. Gerald Kazanowski decides he's going to bounce that ball. It's his final few seconds, 16 seconds left. There's Gerald looking back to Eli Pasquale. They're controlling it. They are the national champions. There's Eli Pasquale, works that ball around. What a sensational young man he is. You cannot say enough about it. They can't catch him. It's all over. It's all over. And the University of Victoria have won their 4th consecutive national championship. And they go back, of course, back to the year 1979 and 80 in Calgary. They defeated Brandon 73-64. In Waterloo in 81, defeated Acadia 81-70. Last year at home in Victoria, defeated St. Mary's 74-60. And here they've won 63-52. And the most valuable player of the tournament, who else but Eli Pasquale. And from Waterloo, this is the 1983 CIU Men's Basketball Championship.
Congratulations. You want Brian in on this as well? Turn around.
No, I can't.
Here now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
On Sunday afternoon, April 3rd, CTV Sports presents the Nabisco Dinah Shore Invitational Golf Tournament.